In this video, you will learn the minimal base to start in Web3 sales. In the end of the video, you will immediately understand what are the difference between sales and BD, different sales roles. We're going to cover the average deal cycle and also cover the most important sales jargon that will get you through the space. Because if you don't know it, you're not going to make it. So without further ado, let's go to the Web3 sales gym. The first thing is, what is Web3 sales? When people talk about sales overall, selling something over the computer, it's typically they refer to B2B software as a service sales or SaaS. And this thing has been evolving for the last 20 years. The first company that started kind of dipping their toes into was Salesforce. And software as a service is when you sell a piece of a software to other businesses because it solves their problems. So, for example, if you go to Google and you buy a subscription for Google Drive, then you are a consumer and Google is a provider. This is the example of B2C services. B2B is something different. Is when Google goes to Microsoft and they sell them cloud solutions, the Google Cloud. This is when company work with companies. And this is where the majority of money is generated, and this is the differences between B2C and B2B sales are significant, and you need to know about them. But what is happening in the Web3 is that Web3 is just a niche inside of this whole IT circle, this whole technology, when this is cloud solutions, this is different solutions, this, that, accounting software, and all of this stuff. The Web3 is just a small niche inside of this big world. And typically when you hear Web3, there is a lot of words like blockchain, NFT, DAO, DeFi. All of this stuff means the same thing. This is Web3. This is the next generation. And if you don't know what is the Web3, I will link you videos down below so you can check out what is Web3. But we're gonna move on to the next slide, because essentially what sales in Web3 is when you're selling your Web3 stuff to other businesses and you're helping them to solve their problem. This is the core. Now, there is a lot of confusions between a lot of people talk about sales, a lot of people talk about BD. What are the differences? And we don't make it easier, honestly. A lot of sales managers, a lot of companies, they mess these two terms. They call sales BD, and then BD is again BD, and there is a lot of stuff that just goes inside of this word. So I just want to make it very clear for you. Sales is when the customer is present and there is money for offer. You exchange. You give them something and they give you money, and you have a client and a vendor relation, or a client and a company relation. So you give them, there is certain level of relationship where you promise them a software or you promise them a product or a service in exchange for their money. Now, business development or BD or biz dev or partnership management, in their customer is not present. You're still selling to other businesses, but they are not your customers, they're your partners. And partnering up doesn't always mean that you exchange something for money. You can do something together. In majority of cases, with partners, you do initiatives. It's either you can do the chain integration, or you do a hackathon together, or you do a marketing collab, or partnership management or BD are more focused on app adoption. So they don't care really that much about the monetary stuff of things, but they also care about app adoption. What we have in Web3 is majority of sales is still called business development. This is probably because majority of people are super scared of this word. They want to detach themselves. They feel that sales, this is for all these industries, for these car salesmen, we're going to be business, and they just want to call themselves business development. But essentially what they do, they are selling. They are selling to customers. So when you want to apply to a new position or you're on an interview, please clarify what this role is about. Is it about selling, or is it about business development and working with partners and selling because you're essentially selling, but this is a different way of selling, right? And you will get it down the line. So moving forward is what we have: roles. Roles in sales, there is a lot of different acronyms for different words, and I just want to quickly break you down this new alphabet. SDRs or BDRs, sales development representatives or business development representatives. Again, these terms also mean the same. They can be SDRs, BDRs, BDRs can be named SDRs, and there is a whole lot of mess. This is not important. What is important is that the sales development representatives is the first entry-level position. And if you're new to the space, this is where you need to aim for. What SDR is doing is opening up the conversation. Then the next level is account executive. Account executive is the guy who closes the sale, because if you are used to B2C, you think, okay, so if I have a product, then I find the client and then I sell this product to a client. Yes, but if you're selling B2B, these two functions, finding the client and then selling to the client, they're closing to the client, like handling the money, they give you money, you give them the product. Handling this side of things is separated between two roles for more efficiency. Because if you're just starting out, the B2B space is very complex and you are messing up majority of the deals. That's why in the beginning you learn how to open up conversations, you learn how to sell your products without actually closing the deal, and then you just move this account to account manager, account executive, and then account executive does the rest of the job. And to make it simple, on top of them there is a head of sales, because in Web3 a lot of our startups, and I mentioned this in the video before, check this out there. Because teams are very small, there is no need to have a lot of layers of sales management. So it's typically a couple of SDRs, a couple of account executives, and one head of sales in front of them. As the organization grows, there's going to be more roles added here, but we're going to cover that later. We don't need to worry about that right now. In BD, it's the same. In BD, it's essentially BDR and BDR. If you don't find SDRs, then look for BDRs, and BDRs is typically the same. These two terms are just meaning the same. Then this is partnership manager, who is like the account executive. His goal is to close partnerships. The BDR just finds a partner, prospective partner, then the partnership manager is closing them, and then on top of them there is a head of BD, head of partnerships. Sometimes it's the same person. Sometimes it's the one person that's doing everything. Based on the scope of the work, based on the company, based on the sales process that they have or the partnership process that they have, everything is very different. But if you're in the beginning, you aim for SDRs. If you're an SDR, you should aim to become an AE. If you're an AE, you should aim either to moving to management, or you can be a lone wolf. You can stay in sales forever, because some AEs, it doesn't mean head of sales doesn't make more than a very good AE, because a very good AE, he has connection to money. He's actually selling. Head of sales, he doesn't sell. He's more on the management side, the reporting side, more effectiveness of the team. He's not very involved with the customers. So if you want to make money, if you like connection to the customer, you just can become better as an account executive or as a partnership manager. Now, next important thing is walking through the deal. And if I saw this when I was just going to sales, then my life would be way, way easier. How this looks like in the ideal world. First, prospecting, the word, meaning very fancy word for meaning finding right people or companies to sell. This is what SDRs do. Then once you find the person that you want to sell, you feel that they can be a good fit for your solution, you need to outreach, aka message to your prospects. Once you message to your prospect, the goal of your message is to book a call with this prospect to understand if this problem really a problem for them and if you can help them. Then you book in the first call, aka discovery call, and the whole goal of the discovery call is to identify the pain and to understand if this prospect a good fit for you. This is what SDR do. Once they qualify the prospect on the discovery call, they pass it to AE. And what the AE needs to do is they need to book the second call, also known as demo call, to present a solution. Typically, these calls are mixed together. It all depends on the process and on the product that you're selling. But in the nutshell and in the ideal world, this is how it looks like. And then in the world, people just adapt it. On the demo call, you present the solution, or you scope out the solution, or you show the product, or you start integration. There's different phases for Web3. But the whole point here is that you start taking your solution and fitting it to the customer's problem. Then what account executive is doing, he can multi-thread. And multi-thread is a very fancy word for telling more people in your targeted company about the problem. So if you met with the product manager and you told them about this problem and the product manager agrees that this is a problem, the account executive goes to the CTO or to the CEO and tells, hey, we spoke with your product manager, we identified this problem, we can help you save this, do this, and he's looping them into the deal, because the more decision makers you loop into the deal, the easier it is for you to close the deal. Then he's booking the third call, which is the pricing call, for which he prepares the proposal. And after preparing a proposal, the account executive closes the deal. Sometimes these roles are separated. Sometimes it's only the one person that is doing this. So in my example, I do both for the SDR and both for the AE. Now, the jargon, the finishing line of our video. The jargon is that what all salespeople use, and the faster you get familiar with these words, the easier it will be for you to navigate job offers, to navigate job websites, to navigate different sales posts, to learn. And the first number in our jargon list is the CRM, Customer Relationship Management Systems. This is the system, this is the software that helps you to navigate deals, to see the full list of your prospects, to manage the relationship with them, to do notes on them, to have everything on track in one place. Because if half of your conversations are in Telegram, then another half somewhere else on email, this is all very clustered. The CRM helps you to get everything into one place and see a very clear picture of where you're at your sales game. The most popular CRM in Web3 is the HubSpot, but I know that there are a few CRMs that are building specifically for Web3. Let's see how they progress. Then the second word in your jargon is OTE, on target earnings. This is the most important word for your making money, because in the sales, when you see a job offer, they will tell you, okay, so you have 50K base, and then there is 50K on variable or on time earnings, on target earnings. If you hit your quota, for 100%, you will make 100K. If you don't hit your quota, you make 50. If you hit 150% of your quota, you make, instead of 100, you make 125. This is very simple. Then KPIs, key performance indicators. This is a fancy word for your quota. This is your goal. The amount of calls that you need to book, amount of qualified deals that you need to create, amount of prospects you need to close. Then the fourth word is the qualified deals for SDR. This is the main KPI for them. Amount of qualified deals, qualified opportunities that you create and pass to AE. Then ARR or MRR, which is annual or monthly recurring revenue. This is the KPI for an AE. Typically, their KPIs is money, and how much money per month we need to generate in new revenue, or how much money per year we need to generate in a new revenue. And if you're selling for a big company, the ARR goal can be $500,000, it can be $1 million, it can be even more than that. Just depends. If you're good in your skill, you get higher quotas, and you get a chance to work with the customers that can pay you more money, which requires more significant time investment and skill investment. You need to practice a lot. You need to know a lot of stuff about sales until you move to the range of closing 6-figure deals, closing 7-figure deals. But ideally, that's where we're going here, right? In the Web3 Sales gym. Then there is another important word, which is leads. Leads is the person that you can contact. Leads is another word for a prospect. So like leads, everybody is a lead, but not everybody is a prospect. Okay, I'm putting it in a better way. If someone can be contacted, they're a lead. If they're looking like a good fit for you, if for example you're targeting NFT platforms, and if the person is a CEO of an NFT platform, they're the prospect. But if they're just the CEO for a DeFi platform, then they're the lead. And then there is a follow-up, aka next step. Follow-ups, this is the next thing that you will do. It can be a follow-up email after the call, or it can be a sequence of follow-ups. If you want to get in touch with somebody, you typically build an email sequences, and then the first email, and then you do the second email, which is the follow-up, and then again follow-up, the third email, fourth email, and so on and so forth, and blah, 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 blah. That's it. That was really, really fast. Now, guys, what you need to do as a part of the training, if you want to get better, if you want to 10x your results, the home training is, again, very simple. If you're new to Web3 sales, you need to kind of think and understand, where do you want to focus on? Where do you see your career? Is it sales, selling something, or is it BD? In my example, I went to sales. I like BD, I like partnership management, but for me, it's important to learn how to sell, how to exchange something for money, because in the end of the day, this is the skill that helps you throughout all of your life. Partnership management is also cool, and it's it's complementary to sales. It's good to have. For me, the sales is the core. Please do a decision for yourself and write in the comments, is it sales or BD? Just one word, nothing else. Sales or BD. So express your intention to the universe. And then if you're already with the Web3 sales experience, then learn new strategy, make your skills better. There is going to be attached video, how I use ChatGPT to book more calls with Web2 companies, with the big decision makers. They can be a big breakthrough for you. So go check out that video and try the strategy. So you're boosted in your Web3 sales game. Thank you guys. It was very nice to having you today in the Web3 sales gym. Now it's time to hit your own at home training. And I'm going to see you in the next video where we're going to talk about the right ways how to get a Web3 sales position. See you. Bye-bye.